Welcome to AM Best Audio.
I'm John Weber for AM Best Audio. Tom Troy is an insurance industry veteran. He brings over 30 years of experience from several major insurance carriers, including senior leadership roles at some of the largest and most well-respected mutual and reciprocal carriers. These days, however, Tom is the new CEO of the Mutual Group. He joins us now. Tom, so good to speak with you.
Thanks for having me, John. Good to hear your voice.
So, Tom, what drew you to the Mutual Group and what convinced you that this was the right next step for you, both personally and professionally?
Well, after several decades of working for some of the largest and most successful insurance companies in the U.S., I got excited about the prospect of a younger company. The Mutual Group started in 2023 in partnership with Bain Capital. And this felt like an entrepreneurial opportunity, but it was still grounded in serving some of the oldest insurance companies in the country. And those, in many cases, are some of our mutual insurance companies. So I was excited to get in on the ground floor of what I thought was a really interesting opportunity to serve some of our oldest and best insurance companies in the U.S.
Now, you're stepping into a leadership role at a time when the mutual model is getting renewed attention across the industry. How would you describe your vision for the organization over the next several years?
Well, the Mutual Group is designed to help mutual insurance companies be more successful by bringing capital to the equation through our partnership with Bain Capital, by bringing expertise and the ability to help mutuals accelerate the modernization of their technology, the modernization of their approach to product development and pricing, the implementation of new technologies like artificial intelligence. And so I got really excited about the opportunity to come and help mutuals do this. And we're getting a lot of very positive feedback from mutuals who are interested in this kind of support. Mutuals, in many cases, have been on the front edge, on the leading edge of developments in the industry, but some of these new technologies and modernization efforts are quite expensive. And so there are cases when it's helpful to have a partner alongside of you to get big projects done so you can pursue big aspirations.
You know, a lot of observers point to the early experience with Guide One Insurance as an important proof point for the model. What specifically about that relationship demonstrates that this structure can work?
Well, if you just look at the metrics, since the Guide One relationship was incepted in late 2023, the surplus of the organization has grown each year. The top line has grown each year. Our profitability has improved each year. Expenses have continued to be well managed. And we're getting, great support from our agents and our customers, which validates the fact that we're delivering the kind of service that people expect.
More broadly, Tom, when you look at the mutual insurance sector today, what gives you confidence in its long-term relevance?
Well, the mutuals represent about 1/3 of a market here in the U.S. that's over $1 trillion, the U.S. P&C market. 1/3 of that is controlled by the mutuals. Outside of a few large ones and very successful ones, many of the mutuals are smaller and they serve unique geographies, unique constituencies, and they've been doing this for decades. They're some of the oldest companies in the U.S. And I believe that because of their relevance in terms of serving a local and familiar client base, I feel like they have a great future ahead of them.
On the flip side, then, Tom, what are the unique challenges that mutuals are facing?
Well, the mutual model itself is one that doesn't offer the same breadth of access to capital as, say, a stock company. So that's one of the challenges that mutuals are constantly trying to work through. Now, there are methods through which they can raise capital. They can partner with someone and issue a surplus note. But outside of that, they don't have vehicles like issuing stock or selling portions of the company to raise money. So that is a very unique challenge to the model. Also, many of the mutuals, because they are working hard to serve a constituency or a specific geography, have tended to be a bit smaller. And they're going up against the largest companies in the business who have scale advantage and who have the ability to invest in modernizing technology, products, services, etc. And so that has been a challenge that mutuals have been working to overcome. But one of the things that they do to overcome that is they know their customers a lot better than some of the big national companies, and they know their agents and distributors very well as well. So the mutuals are not without their advantages, but size sometimes is a disadvantage that they need to work hard to overcome.
Customize your data experience. BestLink now offers an interactive company dashboard that provides company-level intelligence in a fast, user-friendly interface featuring interactive tables, charts, and Sparkline performance histories. Customize the dashboard tiles to prioritize the insurer ratings, data, and analytics that best support your workflow. AM Best. Our insight, your advantage.
As you think about the road ahead, what do you see as the most significant opportunities for the mutual group, Tom?
I think the mutual group is finding success and will continue to find success with a storyline that includes helping mutuals modernize their technology platforms, helping mutuals modernize their product delivery, their pricing techniques, etc., and doing so in collaboration, with both the mutual group and eventually with other mutual companies.
We can't have a discussion, Tom, without talking about artificial intelligence. How are you thinking about the impact of AI on mutual insurers, not just in terms of efficiency and operations, but also underwriting, claims, member experience, and even governance?
There's no doubt AI is going to have an impact in the future. It's having an impact today. In some cases, the mutuals, because of their size, have an advantage because they can be more nimble in terms of implementing some of these technologies and using a test and learn mindset to move quickly. And this technology is moving quickly, so having the ability to be nimble is very important. On the other hand, some of these technologies are actually quite expensive to deploy and maintain. And so that's something that I think mutuals are going to need to think carefully about. But generally speaking, we see the broad topic of AI as one that the mutuals are moving towards, not moving away from. The mutuals are receptive to. They're not closing it off. And we think that the mutuals as a group, should be some of the early leaders in terms of utilizing these technologies. The technology touches on a lot of things, the things that you mentioned, customer service. But on the other hand, when we collect customers' information, we have an obligation to protect that information. And so we need to be very careful from a governance standpoint to make sure that the technologies that we use are safe and secure and ready and fit for purpose for use when handling confidential information. So, this technology is exciting on the one hand, but we also need to be mindful of how we utilize it and when we utilize it.
Okay, last question, Tom, before we wrap things up. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you think is important for people to understand about the mutual group or your priorities as CEO?
Well, again, the mutual group is here to serve mutuals. We're not in the business of trying to buy or consolidate mutuals. The most important thing about the mutual group model is our emphasis on the independence of every mutual insurance company that we work with. That's first and foremost on top of our mind when we're working with our mutual partners. And so I certainly want people to remember that when they're thinking about the mutual group and the prospect of working with us, that what they'll be met with, I think, in our very first conversation is a strong emphasis on the importance of the independence of the mutual company, the independence of the mutual industry, and an emphasis on sort of that local proximity that the mutuals have been able to deliver to their agents and to their customers. They'll find that that is embraced here at the mutual group. So I think those are very important things for people to remember when they're thinking about the prospect of working with us.
All right, great discussion. Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you, John. Have a great weekend.
That was Tom Troy, the CEO of the Mutual Group. And I'm John Weber for AM Best Audio. Looking to get the full attention of the insurance industry? We have the platforms that will do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day. Find out more by calling AM Best Advertising Sales at 908-439-2200, extension 5399, and have a great day.